Imagine waking up one morning, the sun spilling through your window after a restless night, only to feel a heavy, unshakable void where excitement used to live. That 10-mile, 15-kilometer drive to your favorite cafe in Chicago, or the quick 20-kilometer train ride to a quaint European village. Once a thrill, now feels like a chore, the coffee tasting bland, the scenery blurring into gray. Hobbies that once set your heart racing, like sketching under a tree or strumming a guitar, sit abandoned, gathering dust in the corner of your room. Conversations with friends, even those late-night talks that used to stretch for hours, now drone on, repetitive and lifeless, leaving you staring at the clock, wondering why you bother. Movies, music, that weekend gathering 50 miles, 80 kilometers away, none of it sparks the joy it once did. It's as if life has dimmed, the colors fading, and a quiet, creeping despair whispers, "Is this all there is?" If this hits home, you're not alone. Millions across the US and Europe, from bustling New York to serene Tuscany, wrestle with this same hollow ache. But what if this isn't just burnout or a midlife slump? What if it's a cry from deep within, a message begging to be heard? Swiss psychologist Carl Jung, a genius who peered into the soul's shadows, offers a lifeline. He believed this emptiness isn't a flaw to hide or a phase to shrug off. It's a thunderous signal from your unconscious mind, screaming that you've drifted from your true self. Picture it. Society drilled into you, from those endless school days 5 miles from home to the 9 to 5 grind 30 miles across town, that happiness lies in ticking boxes. Good grades, a steady job, a house with a picket fence. You chased it, maybe even caught it, only to find the prize feels like ash in your hands. Jung called this individuation, a raw, exhilarating call to peel back the layers of who you think you should be and uncover who you are. It's not failure. It's an invitation to something bigger, a journey that demands you ditch the shallow distractions, those 3-hour social media scrolls, and dive into the messy, beautiful depths of your own heart. Feel that sting of recognition? That ache when you realize the party 100 miles, 160 kilometers away, didn't lift your spirits, or the new gadget didn't fill the void. It's your soul knocking, urging you to evolve. So here's the challenge. Try a 5-minute stillness experiment tonight. No phone, no noise, just you and your thoughts. What bubbles up? Fear, longing, a forgotten dream. Drop it in the comments below. Let's crack this open together. Jung's wisdom promises that this isn't the end. It's the start of a life that blazes with meaning again. Will you listen? Picture this. It's late, the clock ticking past midnight, and you're sprawled on your couch in a quiet suburb 20 miles, 32 kilometers, from the city's hum, say outside Chicago or Amsterdam. Your phone glows, sucking you into a 3-hour vortex of scrolling through Instagram reels, TikTok dances, and endless news feeds. You laugh at a meme, swipe past a friend's vacation pics from 500 miles, 800 kilometers away, and binge a Netflix series until your eyes burn. It's a ritual, isn't it? A frantic chase across digital highways to outrun that gnawing void, the one that creeps in when the TV's off. The silence settles, and you're left wondering why nothing feels alive anymore. That weekend drive 50 miles, 80 kilometers, to a concert, that new game you ordered from across the Atlantic, none of it sticks. The thrill fades fast, leaving a bitter aftertaste, a hollow echo asking, "Why am I still empty?" You're not alone. Millions from London to Los Angeles, spanning Europe's 4,000-kilometer breadth, drown in this same restless tide, desperate to escape the quiet. Carl Jung, the Swiss master who mapped the psyche's depths, saw through this chaos. He'd tell you that this emptiness isn't random. It's your unconscious roaring, a primal scream that you've buried your true self under layers of noise. Society wired you for this trap. Work hard, stay busy, keep moving, they said, from those school runs 5 miles, 8 kilometers, away to the daily grind 30 miles, 50 kilometers across town. You obeyed, filling every second with tasks, screens, chatter, anything to dodge the stillness. But Jung warned that running won't save you. That 3-hour scroll? It's a band-aid on a gaping wound, numbing the ache but never healing it. Modern studies back him up. Overstimulation dulls your soul, leaving you anxious, numb, craving more, yet feeling less. It's a vicious cycle. The more you flee, the louder the void grows, a shadow you can't outpace no matter how many miles or kilometers you put between you and your thoughts. Feel that shiver, that pang of truth? It's terrifying to stop, isn't it? To sit alone with no buffer, no buzz, just you and the raw edges of your mind. But that's where the magic hides, where meaning whispers back. So here's a dare. Tonight, ditch the phone for 10 minutes. Lock it away, sit in the dark, and let the silence crash over you like a wave. What do you hear? Regrets, dreams, a heartbeat you'd forgotten? Spill it in the comments. Let's face this together. Jung promises it's not the end. It's the doorway to a life that pulses again. Will you step through or keep running? Close your eyes for a moment. Picture a version of yourself from years back. Maybe a 25-year-old pedaling 10 miles, 16 kilometers, through a crisp Chicago morning, wind whipping past, or a 40-year-old hiking 20 kilometers up a misty trail in the Alps. Heart pounding with every step. Remember that rush? That electric hum when you lost yourself in a sketchbook, the pencil dancing across the page, or when you stood 50 miles, 80 kilometers, from home at a concert, the bass vibrating through your bones? Now fast forward to today. The bike gathers rust, the sketchbook's edges curl, and the music feels like static. Life's a blur of commutes, 30 miles, 50 kilometers, to a desk in New York, or a train ride 100 kilometers from Paris. An endless to-do list, leaving you hollow, staring at a screen, wondering where that fire went. It's a gut punch, isn't it? That sinking realization that joy slipped through your fingers, leaving a quiet, aching fog. But Carl Jung, the Swiss sage who plumbed the soul's depths, whispers a lifeline. This isn't the end, it's a beginning. Jung believed this emptiness isn't a curse. It's a wake-up call from your unconscious, a raw, trembling nudge toward individuation, becoming your truest self. You've outgrown the old sparks, those fleeting thrills society handed you like a script. Work hard, stay busy, chase the next thing. But now, at 30 in a cramped London flat or 50 in a Munich suburb, 1,200 kilometers from your roots, the script's worn thin. Jung's remedy? 3 steps to reignite that lost flame. First, carve out stillness. Sit for 15 minutes, no phone, no noise, just the rhythm of your breath cutting through the chaos. Second, chase curiosity. Grab a book that tugs at your soul, wander 5 miles, 8 kilometers, to a museum, or strum that dusty guitar. No goal, just wonder. Third, dig into your past joys. What made your younger self glow? Was it painting in an attic 20 miles, 32 kilometers from the city, or laughing with friends under a sky 200 kilometers from nowhere? These aren't dead ends. They're embers waiting to flare. Feel that flicker of hope, that ache to reclaim what's yours? It's scary to step off life's treadmill, to face the silence, to risk looking foolish chasing whims. But that's where the magic lives. Here's your spark. This week, pick one old passion, dust it off, and give it 15 minutes. Did it stir something? Nostalgia? A thrill? A tear? Pour it into the comments below. Let's reignite together. Jung promises this isn't nostalgia. It's your soul calling you home to a life that pulses with meaning. Will you answer or let the fog win? Imagine standing at a crossroads, the kind you've driven past 1,000 times. Maybe 30 miles outside Atlanta, where the highway stretches endlessly, or 100 kilometers from Barcelona, where the horizon shimmers with promise. You've spent years chasing meaning down those roads. A new job 500 miles away in Seattle, a dream vacation across Europe's 2,000-kilometer span, a shiny promotion that sent you 50 miles into the city's heart. Each time your pulse raced with hope. This would be it, the key to feeling whole. But the thrill fizzled fast, didn't it? The corner office felt like a cage. The postcard views faded to snapshots. And now you're back home, scrolling 3 hours a night, staring at a ceiling that mocks you with its silence. That ache, that restless hollow in your chest. It's brutal, a quiet scream asking, why isn't this enough? You're not lost alone. From bustling Chicago to sleepy Tuscany, millions feel the same sting, chasing a mirage that slips through their fingers like sand. Carl Jung, the Swiss visionary who dove into the soul's abyss, saw this coming. He'd grab you by the shoulders and say, stop searching out there, meaning isn't a treasure buried 1,000 miles, 1,600 kilometers away. It's a fire you kindle inside. His big idea, individuation, isn't about finding the perfect gig or the next big thing. It's about weaving purpose into every breath, every step, right where you stand. Society sold you a lie. Happiness is a prize at the end of a 5-mile sprint, a finish line of achievements. But Jung flips the script, meaning blooms when you stop running and start building. Dive deep into what's in front of you. Savor a coffee with every sip, not just a gulp on a 20-mile, 32-kilometer commute. Lose your serve, feel that tug, that flicker of possibility. It's daunting to ditch the chase, to trade the rush of what's next for the weight of what's now. But that's where the magic ignites. Here's your shot. Today, pick one thing, a task, a talk, a quiet moment, and pour your whole self into it for 20 minutes. Did it shift something? A spark? A tear? A heartbeat you'd missed? Drop it in the comments. Let's build this fire together. Jung swears this isn't a pipe dream. It's your power to craft a life that hums with purpose. No map required. Will you keep chasing shadows or light the flame? Imagine it's dusk, the sky bruising purple over a quiet street, maybe 15 miles, 24 kilometers, from Houston's buzz or 30 kilometers from Florence's ancient charm. You're alone, the house creaking softly, and that familiar weight settles in, a void so deep it steals your breath. The 100-mile, 160-kilometer road trip you took last month to escape it? Pointless. The mountains blurred past, the playlist droned, and you returned unchanged. That old journal once filled with dreams 5 miles, 8 kilometers from your childhood home lies unopened. The guitar you strummed 50 miles, 80 kilometers from college dorms collects cobwebs. Life's a treadmill now, 30 miles, 50 kilometers, to a job that numbs you, 3-hour scrolls through a phone that taunts you, enjoys a ghost slipping away with every tick of the clock. It's crushing, isn't it? That silent howl in your gut, that fear that this emptiness is forever, whispering, what's left? But hold on. You're not broken, not lost. From Texas plains to Tuscany's hills, 4,500 miles, 7,200 kilometers apart, countless souls feel this too. And Carl Jung, the Swiss titan who wrestled the psyche's shadows, calls it your turning point. Jung didn't see this void as a sentence. He saw it as a thunderclap from your unconscious, a fierce, trembling plea to evolve. This isn't failure, it's individuation, a jagged, glorious call to shed the skin you've outgrown, to face the dark corners you've dodged. Society promised you meaning in a paycheck, a house 20 miles, 32 kilometers from the city, a life of shoulds. But now at 25 in a Seattle loft, or 45 in a Munich suburb 1,000 kilometers from your roots, those promises ring hollow. The emptiness isn't your enemy, it's your guide, dragging you kicking and screaming toward a truer you. Stop running. Don't book that flight 2,000 miles, 3,200 kilometers away, or drown in another Netflix binge. Sit with it. Crack open that journal, spill the fears you've buried, the dreams you've muted. It's raw, terrifying, like staring into a storm. But that's where the light breaks through, where meaning claws its way back. Feel that shiver, that wild mix of dread and hope? It's messy to face the void, to unearth what's festered beneath years of distraction, but it's your rebirth. Here's your dare. Tonight, grab a pen, sit 5 minutes in the dark, and write one fear you've ignored. Did it sting, spark, or unravel something? Toss it in the comments below. Let's wrestle this beast together. Jung swears this isn't a pit, it's a launch pad to a life that roars with purpose. Will you shrink from it or rise? It's April 1st, 2025, and you wake up in a world buzzing louder than ever. Self-driving cars hum 20 miles through sprawling U.S. suburbs like Austin, while high-speed trains zip 300 kilometers across Europe from Berlin to Paris in under 2 hours. Your smartwatch pings with AI-curated goals. Meditate for 10 minutes. Boost productivity by 15%. Social media's evolved. Holographic TikToks beam 4-hour loops of dopamine hits, and virtual reality hangouts promise connection 5,000 miles, 8,000 kilometers, away without leaving your couch. Yet here you are, 30 in a Seattle high-rise or 50 in a quiet Lisbon villa, feeling that same gut-wrenching void from Jung's tale. The story warned us. Hobbies dull, conversations echo, and even VR escapes 1,000 miles, 1,600 kilometers, into digital realms can't shake the emptiness. In 2025, this hits harder. Tech's shiny promises amplify the noise, but Carl Jung's voice cuts through, urging us to listen. This year, pay attention. That hollow ache isn't a glitch in the matrix. It's your unconscious roaring, begging you to stop scrolling and start digging. Individuation, becoming your truest self, demands focus amidst the chaos, a rebellion against a world that's 24/7 plugged in. What should you watch for? First, the distraction trap's tighter in 2025. AI tailors every ad, every app, to keep you 3 hours deep in mindless loops, numbing the soul Jung said craves meaning. That 50-mile, 80-kilometer commute to a hybrid office or 10-kilometer walk to a co-working space, it's still a treadmill if you're chasing society's script. Earn more, upgrade the smart home, post the perfect life. The story screams, don't buy it, meaning won't crash land from a drone delivery 200 miles, 320 kilometers away. It's forged inside in stillness, in facing the fears you've swiped past. Second, evolution's knocking louder. Climate shifts flood news feeds. Remote work blurs home and hustle, and at 35 in Chicago or 45 in Copenhagen, you're outgrowing yesterday's joys. Jung's steps, silence, curiosity, transformation, aren't retro. They're survival tools for a future rushing at warp speed. Try it. Ditch the VR headset for 15 minutes, wander 5 miles, 8 kilometers, with no plan. Feel the raw pulse of now. Finally, 2025's chaos begs for meaning you create. Teach a skill online, plant a garden 20 kilometers from the urban sprawl, dive into a passion that defies the algorithm. Feel that tug, that restless hope amid the tech storm. It's scary, facing yourself when the world's a circus, but it's your shot at a life that sings. Here's your 2025 challenge. Pause one digital binge this week, sit with the void, and ask, what's calling me? Share it below. Let's spark this together. Jung's truth holds, emptiness isn't the enemy. It's your compass for a roaring 2025. Will you steer it?